good day. Welcome to writing your academic article from scratch. As you can see, I am pre-recording these while on duty and therefore would ask permission to close my camera once I start sharing my slides to avoid also distractions from my fellow clinicians and clinic staff when they move around me. Plus, there is a ray of light on my face which I don't understand. But nevertheless, enough indication that I should close camera instead. I hope you understand and thank you. As I said, welcome to writing your academic article from scratch. This resource is designed as a practical roadmap for graduate students who are preparing to craft their first journal article. It's not about waiting for a stroke of genius. It's about systematic planning, thoughtful writing, and building habits that carry you from an initial idea to a published piece of scholarship. Let's look at the journey ahead. Writing an article from scratch is a journey with clear stages. You'll start by preparing a foundation, setting up routines, clarifying interests, and learning about publishing requirements. Then comes idea generation, where you connect your passions to scholarly conversations. The next phase is research and testing, where you validate those ideas and refine them into arguments. After that, you'll gather evidence to support your claims. Finally, you'll draft your article and revise it systematically until it is polished and publication ready. Each stage builds on the last, ensuring steady progress rather than guesswork. Time investment overview. Writing takes a significant investment of time. Reading journals, developing ideas, conducting research, drafting, and revising all require dozens of hours, often far more than new scholars actually expect. The most time consuming phases are usually research, execution, and revision, which stretch over weeks or months. Altogether, the process can span a year or even more. Understanding this timeline is crucial because it helps you plan realistically and maintain momentum instead of becoming discouraged when progress feels slow. Let's look at a fundamental principle at this point. One of the most important principles to remember is that writing is thinking. Many students assume that they must fully understand their ideas before they begin to write. But this mindset often leads to paralysis. In reality, the act of writing generates clarity and insight. Drafting and reflecting on sentences can reveal connections you had not noticed before. Writing, therefore, is not just a way to record what you know, it's a tool for discovering what you think. Embracing this principle makes the process more flexible and even productive. This lecture is divided into chapters and steps. But when we speak of chapters and steps, we are referring more to the writing process and to the steps in the writing process. So please do not be confused. Chapter 1, Setting Up for Success. Before you dive into research or drafting, you need to establish a foundation that will sustain you through the long process of article writing. Success in academic writing rarely comes from sudden inspiration. It comes from consistent habits and deliberate preparation. This section or chapter guides you through the essential practices you need to begin well, from creating an ideas document to building a writing schedule and understanding how journals work. These steps may seem simple, but they set the tone for everything that follows. Let's begin with step 1, creating your ideas document. The first step is to create an ideas for articles document. Think of it as a creative workspace rather than a polished draft. Capture fleeting thoughts, interesting questions, or connections between readings. Write actively while you work through the exercises in this guide and revisit the document regularly. Even fragments of sentences or half-formed ideas can grow into the foundations of an article. The habit of writing down thoughts immediately or almost immediately is essential because these moments or insights are easily lost if you wait until later. That's the reason why I say always keep a notebook beside you. That notebook will go a long way. Step 2, design your writing schedule. Just a moment, I'm posting this for the meantime. So I'm resuming. So the alarm that you've heard, that's the call for patients. Ay, sorry. A moment, please. So step 2, design your writing schedule. As we said, the second step is to design a writing schedule that works for you. Successful academic writers don't rely on bursts of motivation. They make writing a regular, protected practice. Think about when you are at your best, early morning or late at night, or in short intervals throughout the day, and build your writing time around those rhythms. Treat these writing blocks as appointments you cannot skip. Even if you only write for 30 minutes a day, the habit compounds over time. The goal is consistency and sustainability, not intensity. Let's go to step 3, but patient call for the meantime. I'll come back. I'll just pause. Step 3, understand publication requirements. The third step is to understand what journals expect from articles. Good writing isn't enough. Publication requires that you work your work fits into active scholarly conversations. Journals seek articles that make well-supported arguments and advance current debates. Skim chapters on how to frame arguments, refine citations, and craft significant claims. These early understanding will prevent you from writing in a vacuum. Instead, you learn how to position your work where it can make a contribution that reviewers and editors will recognize as valuable. Chapter 2: Getting an Idea. Ideas rarely arrive fully formed. Chapter 2 guides you through three phases: discovery, exploration, and validation. In the discovery phase, you identify personal interests and intellectual curiosities. In the exploration phase, you connect those interests with existing scholarly conversations to see where they overlapped. Finally, in the validation phase, you test your ideas against literature and methodological requirements. The goal is to ensure your ideas are both original and feasible before you invest significant time pursuing them. Let's look at this one in detail. Step 4: Name your interests. To generate sustainable research ideas, start by naming your interests across 7 categories: hobbies and passions, areas of expertise, disciplinary training, academic fields, formative scholarship, theories that resonate with you, and recent media that sparked your attention. Write freely, focusing on what engages you intellectually rather than what you simply enjoy. Intellectual curiosity lasts longer under pressure than casual enjoyment. By listing these interests in detail, you build a reservoir of potential topics that connect your personal motivations with scholarly inquiry. Step 5. So there are 7 categories that we've mentioned: non-academic interests, areas of expertise, disciplinary training, academic fields, formative scholarship, compelling theories, and recent media. Let's look at step 5. Now that you've listed your interests, it's time to look for productive overlaps between them. A strong article idea emerges when your passion meets your training and disciplinary focus. Look for intersections between your skills, background, and curiosity. For example, if you love literature and have experience in psychology, consider projects that explore psychological themes in literature. Avoid mismatches that demand expertise you don't have. This will only slow you down. Instead, focus on what you know deeply and what excites you enough to sustain long-term work. Matching your interests isn't just about narrowing down topics. It's about finding sustainable motivation. Academic writing is a marathon, not a sprint. You'll spend months, sometimes years, living with a single idea. Choose a project that energizes you intellectually and fits naturally into your existing research trends. When you find that sweet spot, writing becomes a process of exploration and not obligation. Step. So, finding the sweet spot, understanding disciplinary alignment. Step 6. Before writing, though, familiarize yourself with the journals that define your field. Journals represent the intellectual conversations you're trying to join. Identify at least 4 disciplinary journals and 4 field-specific ones. Study their aims, scope, and tone. What kinds of questions do they publish? What debates are they addressing? By understanding these venues, you can position your work strategically and avoid wasting time on submissions that don't fit. Remember, reading journals regularly also exposes you to patterns, recurring methods, common article structures, and emerging themes. Excuse me. This kind of reading isn't just informational, it's diagnostic. It shows you how scholars communicate, what's considered persuasive evidence, and where your work might contribute something new. Step 7. Set up citation management. Proper citation management will save you enormous time later. Choose a citation manager like Zotero, Mendeley, or EndNote, whichever integrates best with your writing software. Start building your library now, tagging and organizing articles by topic or method. This habit keeps your research transparent and helps you cite accurately as your project grows. Good citation management isn't only good citation management isn't only about efficiency, it's also about intellectual ethics. Organized references prevent accidental plagiarism, ensure your sources are traceable, and allow you to identify gaps in your reading. Set up your citation management system early, and your future self will thank you when revisions arrive. Step 8. Read journals systematically. When exploring journals, move beyond casual reading. Read instead strategically. Begin by scanning the titles of recent issues from the past 5 years. This helps you notice patterns like recurring topics, keywords, and disciplinary shifts. Next, read abstracts to identify common methods and debates. Finally, dive into selected full articles to see how arguments are framed and supported. Very important is to also Keep notes on what stands out, especially on recurring theoretical frameworks or disagreements among scholars. Those will play a very important role in the long run. These notes will later help you position your own article as part of that conversation. Systematic reading turns the overwhelming world of academic publishing into a map you can navigate confidently. S- s- Step 9: Brainstorming. Step 9: Brainstorm 20 ideas. This exercise is about volume, not perfection. Generate 20 potential article ideas. Yes, you've heard me right. 20. Push yourself to write down even half-formed or unusual thoughts. Frame each idea as a question or argument rather than a topic. For example, instead of feminist novels, try how do feminist novels from the 1970s redefine domestic labor as political resistance? Questions like these move your thinking toward argumentation. But don't just judge the ideas yet. The point is to get your creative and analytical thinking flowing. Some ideas will be unworkable, but others will spark new insights you can refine later. This abundance approach ensures that you have material to choose from rather than struggling with scarcity. Chapter 3: Testing your ideas. Once you develop several topics, the next step is to test them. Idea testing prevents wasted effort on projects that can't sustain publication level work. You'll evaluate originality, feasibility, and significance. In this section, you'll learn how to consult mentors, play with your arguments, check existing scholarship, and verify that you have the necessary methods in moving forward. Testing doesn't mean doubting yourself. It simply means refining your direction. Many ideas sound great at first, but fall apart under scrutiny because they're just too broad, too familiar, or just methodologically weak. This stage will help you identify which ideas have genuine potential before you invest months of writing and even doing research. Let's dissect this section one by one. Step 10: Consult professors. Reach out to professors or mentors for short, focused consultations. Present 3 or 4 brief ideas and ask for quick impressions rather than in-depth feedback. Take notes on their reactions. Which ideas seem exciting to them? Which feel overdone or unclear? faculty can provide valuable perspectives on originality and even feasibility. Remember, their feedback is advisory, not definitive. Don't abandon an idea just because one person isn't enthusiastic about it. But if multiple experienced scholars find your idea too broad or unworkable, that's already valuable data. These conversations give you an early sense of how your ideas might resonate within the field. Step 11. Take stock and play with arguments. Writing is creative work, and creativity thrives on experimentation. Use brainstorming techniques to explore your ideas from different angles. Try metaphors. If your topic were a movie, what would its plot be? Try walking while thinking. Movement often stimulates insight. Draw concept maps or diagrams to visualize relationships among ideas. These playful methods make abstract concepts tangible and help you see where your argument might go. At this stage, it is better to set aside worrying about coherence. Playfulness is productive because it lets you think beyond the obvious. You might discover that two seemingly unrelated topics share a deeper connection, the kind that leads to original arguments. Step 12. Check existing scholarship. Before committing to a topic, ensure your idea isn't already published or outdated. Do a focused literature search using databases like JSTOR, Scopus, or Google Scholar. Look for similar titles or arguments. If you find too much overlap, don't give up. Instead, find a new angle or scope that differentiates your work. This isn't simply about eliminating competition. It's about positioning. If your argument builds on existing work, acknowledge it. If it diverges, explain how. Either way, knowing the scholarly landscape allows you to enter the conversation as a contributor rather than an echo. We certainly don't want to be an echo. Step 13. Verify your method. Finally, make your idea make sure that your idea is doable with the skills and methods you currently have. Ask yourself whether it's doable or not. Do I know how to collect and analyze the data this project requires? Do I understand the theories and tools relevant to the field? If not, consider learning the method. find a collaborator, or refine your research questions. Many projects fail not because their ideas are weak, but because they overreach the writer's expertise. Verifying your method early saves months of frustration. It ensures that your future reviewers will find your work credible, rigorous, and grounded in sound research practices. Step 14, or Chapter 4, on collecting evidences. Arguments require evidence. This phase will involve imagining studies, gathering data, and conducting the research that will support your claims. The timeline varies dramatically depending on your discipline and research design. Let's look at step 14. At this point, at this point, begin imagining what your actual study or project will look like. Ask yourself, what kind of evidence would prove my argument? What materials, data, or sources will I need to make this claim convincing? Visualizing your study helps you recognize whether your idea is realistic, too broad, or needs adjustment. The process of imagining also reveals potential challenges: access to archives, time for interviews, or ethical approvals, so you can plan accordingly. Think concretely about your study, or about how your study would unfold. In the humanities, that might mean identifying important texts or historical moments. In the science or social sciences, it could involve designing experiments or even survey instruments. A clear mental image of your research process will allow you to move from vague curiosity to actionable planning. This step bridges imagination and execution, where this is the moment your idea begins to take real shape. Step 15. Select an appropriate journal. Even at the beginning of the journal writing, it is already important to know the journal you plan to target. Choosing your journal early gives your project focus and direction. Every journal has a unique audience, style, and conversation it contributes to. Reading recent issues will help you understand what counts as good question in that venue and how arguments are typically structured. Some journals favor theory-heavy work. Others emphasize data-driven results. Knowing which is which will shape how you present your own ideas. This choice doesn't have to be final, but it should guide your tone, scope, and evidence from the beginning. Writing toward a specific journal prevents your article from becoming too general or unfocused. Think of journals as communities of conversation. You're not just submitting a paper, you're joining an ongoing dialogue. Step 16. Conduct your research. Now comes the heart of scholarly work, conducting your research. This stage may last anywhere from a few weeks to a few years depending on your field and project. It's where you gather the evidence your argument will rest on. Be organized and methodical. Keep detailed notes about where you find sources, your search terms, and how your understanding evolves as you collect data. Good documentation now will save you time later when you're writing and citing. Remember that research rarely goes exactly as planned. Evidence may challenge your initial assumptions or open new directions. Be flexible enough to revise your argument as you go. The best researchers treat surprises not as setbacks, but as discoveries, opportunities to refine and deepen their work. Chapter 4, Chapter 5, Drafting Your Article. This chapter will focus on drafting your article, which is divided into creating an outline, writing an abstract, and drafting initial drafts. Step 17. Create your outline. Before drafting, create a detailed outline. An outline provides structure, helping you organize your thoughts logically and prevent repetition. Traditional outlines work well for some writers, but question-based or visual outlines can be equally powerful. List your sections and subsections, and under each, note the purpose, evidence, and transition. Seeing the whole shape of your article helps you spot gaps or weak connections before you start writing paragraphs. Remember, an outline is a flexible map. As such, it's not a contract. You'll revise it as your ideas develop, but investing time in outlining saves countless hours later on, something that you need to pay attention to. This will make drafting faster and less stressful. Clarity of structure leads to clarity of argument. Next, step 18. Write your abstract. Writing the abstract before the full draft may seem backward, but it forces you to clarify your central argument. In about 250 words, summarize your question, method, findings, and significance. What problem does your article address? What does it contribute to current debates? Why should readers care? This brief exercise demands precision, and helps you define your project's focus early on. This third session today will focus on abstracts. A strong abstract also becomes the foundation for your introduction later. When it's time to submit, it will serve as the first impression reviewers and editors get of your work. Think of it as a promise to the reader, a clear statement of what your article delivers. Step 19. Write your initial draft. Now you're ready to draft. Start small. Even 3 to 5 pages are enough to build momentum. Don't worry about perfection. Focus on getting ideas out of your head and onto the page. Some writers begin with the introduction, others with methods or results. Choose what feels easiest. The goal is to produce text you can work with. Expect your first draft to be messy and incomplete. That's perfectly normal. Write in an iterative process. Once words exist, you can analyze, refine, and restructure them. Drafting early allows you to discover what you really think. Remember, a rough draft is infinitely more useful than a perfect idea still in your mind. At this point, it's very important to remind you not to let self-criticism interrupt your progress. Separate the creative phase of drafting from the analytical phase of revising. Give yourself permission to write imperfectly now so that you have the material to improve later. The key is steady progress. Even a paragraph a day adds to a full article over time. So, writing order for quantitative articles are provided here. Something you can consider, no? Methods first, introduction next, findings and discussions, and then literature review list later. We will have a section on strengthening your structure on the fourth week or even next week of the class. Now, step 20, no? Return to argument. Once your first draft is complete, revisit your central argument. Does your main claim appear clearly and early? Is it supported by the evidence you present? Look for inconsistencies or leap in logic. Often, writing reveals gaps you couldn't see while planning. Strengthening your argument now will make later revisions more focused and efficient. As you re examine your argument, be honest about where your evidence falls short. Add context or secondary sources where necessary. Remember, a strong article doesn't avoid complexity, it addresses it directly. Revising your argument is how you transform an early draft into a coherent scholarly contribution. So, uh, revising in layers is very important, no? Uh, we need to be able to understand uh, systematic revision, which is the final stage of the writing process. The course breaks revisions into manageable stages, refining your works cited, sharpening your claims for significance, analyzing and presenting evidence effectively, improving structure, and polishing openings and conclusions. Sige po. Revising in layers prevents burnout and ensures improving different aspects of the paper, not endlessly. Rereading the same sentences is also very important. This ensures uh, that by the end, you'll have a version that's not just finished, but truly publication ready. Remember, great writing isn't written, it is rewritten. Revision, therefore, is at the heart of scholarly writing. Many authors will have to focus on this one. Imagine that once a draft exists, the hardest work is over. But in reality, it's just beginning. Revision is where your article transforms from a rough collection of ideas into a coherent, persuasive argument. It involves rethinking your structure, refining your claims, tightening your prose, and ensuring your evidence genuinely supports your conclusions. Every published article you've ever admired has gone through multiple and multiples of revision. Multiples and multiples of revision. And it is here where we need to see how we can contribute to the revision phase. The goal is to approach revision systematically rather than emotionally. Treat your draft as raw material to sculpt. Each pass through the text should focus on a particular layer. First argument, then evidence, then clarity and style. This layered approach prevents overwhelm and ensures consistent improvement without actually suffering burnt out. Okay? Without suffering burnt out. Now, writing from scratch with an existing idea. So, we've already spoke about the phases of foundations, keep interest mind mapping, journal research, keep brainstorming, validation, drafting, and revision. Now, here are some key differences that you need to take into consideration. Whether you have an idea or you are without an idea. But more importantly, regardless of your state or of what path you follow, maintaining momentum is very important. Maintaining consistent progress still proves essential in journal writing and research. Long-term projects fail more often from inconsistency than from lack of ideas or skills. So always protect your writing time, always set micro goals, and find accountability. I'd like to focus next on common pitfalls to avoid when writing. One of the most common traps academic writers fall into is perfectionism. The belief that every sentence must be flawless before you move on. Perfectionism disguises itself as discipline, but in reality, it's fear in academic clothing. It keeps you revising your introduction endlessly while avoiding the harder work of finishing the article. Remember, you can't improve what doesn't exist. Allow yourself to write poorly at first. Early drafts are meant to be imperfect. Progress, not perfection, is your goal. View your early drafts as tools for thinking rather than final products. Academic writing becomes publishable through rewriting, not waiting for the perfect first sentence. As the saying goes, you can't edit a blank page. So write freely, revise wisely, and trust the process to sharpen your work. Another major obstacle is isolation. Many scholars retreat into solitude, believing that writing is a solitary act. But long term isolation leads to stagnation and even self doubt. Writing thrives on conversation. Discussing your ideas with peers, mentors, and collaborators help clarify your arguments and keeps your motion alive. Academic work is social even when it is individual. Make it a habit to share your progress, even in rough form. Join a writing group, trade drafts with a trusted colleague, or present early findings at conferences. Constructive dialogue reminds you that scholarship is about communication, not perfection. Staying connected prevents burnout and strengthens the intellectual community. Third common pitfall, scope creep. Scope creep happens when your project grows beyond its original boundaries. What began, for example, as a article morphs into a dissertation-length study or a book idea. While ambition is good, uncontrolled expansion stalls progress. To stay focused, keep your central argument narrow and manageable. A single article should make one main claim well rather than several loosely related ones. If you find yourself constantly adding new sections or tangents, create a separate futures project. That way, you can honor your curiosity without derailing your current work. Remember, a successful publication opens doors to further research. You don't have to say everything at once. Third, mismatch. Or fourth, methods mismatch. Sometimes a promising idea falters because the chosen method doesn't fit the question. This is method mismatch. Always ensure that your methodology aligns with your goals. For example, a question about historical causation requires archival or contextual analysis, not a survey. A study on audience perception might demand interviews rather than textual analyses. So if you lack the necessary methodological skills, there are two solutions. Learn them or collaborate with someone who has them. Academic work is interdisciplinary by nature, and collaboration always produces richer insights. Don't abandon an idea simply because it challenges your expertise. Instead, find a path that balances ambition with feasibility. And that's actually building research sustainability. Building research sustainability. So look at the publication timeline again and take note that this timeline varies significantly according to perspectives. Next, celebrate progress. Writing from scratch involves numerous small victories worth celebrating. Acknowledge your accomplishments at each stage rather than waiting for final publication. Completing interest inventory, celebrate. Reading 50 plus article abstract, celebrate. Finishing first draft, celebrate. Receiving feedback, celebrate. Completing revision, celebrate. And submitting journals, celebrate. Now, on handling rejections. Most articles face rejection before acceptance. Top scholars accumulate rejection letters throughout their careers. Rejection doesn't indicate poor scholarship. It often reflects fit, timing, and reviewer idiosyncrasies. So it's okay. It's okay. The long view. Researchers anchored in your own interests will sustain you, not drain you. You may not get to write about any of the other things you name, but identifying them will help you recognize areas of interest. Writing from scratch challenges you to discover what genuinely matters intellectually. This process, though sometimes frustrating, builds foundations for sustainable scholarly careers. The interests you identify, methods you learn, and habits you develop extend far beyond a single article. More than one scholar has left academia unable to find ways to write about genuinely interesting topics. Completing this process helps ensure you won't be among them. Moving forward, you now have a comprehensive roadmap for writing your articles from scratch. The journey ahead requires dedication, patience, and persistence. But you're not traveling alone. Countless scholars have navigated this path. So start today, follow the process, stay consistent, seek support, trust the process. Your task is this. In the next week, create your ideas document, design your writing schedule, begin your interest inventory, and identify 3 target journals. Writing an academic article from scratch represents a significant intellectual achievement. The process challenges you, but each step builds towards a publication that advances knowledge in your field. Remember, every published scholar once faced a blank page without knowing what to write. They succeeded not through innate genius, but through systematic work, consistent effort, and willingness to engage deeply with ideas. You have the tools, the roadmap, and the capacity. Now, you only need to begin. Start writing today. Your scholarly contribution awaits you. Thank you very much for listening to this lecture and see you this afternoon at 4 o'clock.